Welcome back, everyone. I think a lot of folks are hitting the pool, of course, this summer because of all this heat. And while it's all fun in the sun, it means you're being exposed to some harsh chemicals like chlorine. And there are ways to keep your eyes protected. That's why we have Dr. Arlen Roper with us. He is with Southwestern Eye Center. And he's here to talk a little bit about this and give us some tips on what we can do to protect our eyes. Thanks for being here this morning.
You're welcome.
I think a lot of folks will say, oh, we're not in, we're in and out of the pool. It's not that bad. But chlorine can really do a number on our eyes.
It can. It can irritate the eyes, sting, burn. It can cause them to get red. Yesterday I was in the pool myself and I got out and my eyes were bright red after being in the chlorine.
And especially for kids, when they're keeping their eyes open, I think more kids do that underwater.
Yeah, absolutely.
What kind of effects can it have for kids? Same issues?
Same issues. The chlorine can be an irritant, can burn them. It can cause them to feel dry or gritty afterwards, things like that.
Okay, so we should be protecting them. In what ways can we do that?
Best way is, number one, to not open your eyes underwater, which with kids that's not going to happen.
Yes,
Your triplets,
they teach them in swim school to keep them open.
Mm-hmm. Second thing is to possibly think about wearing goggles, and I brought a pair of goggles. It's a fun pair. They've got little horns on them. Kids have all sorts of designer goggles, so to speak.
Are goggles, I know this may sound like a weird question, but are all goggles made the same? Because we know sunglasses are all different as well.
Goggles pretty much, as long as they seal around so the water can't get in, it's
you
not
want
a
a
problem.
good seal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then talk about how do you treat eyes when you do have situations like you said, you have the burning. Do you reach for any kind of drops, flush them out?
Best thing you can do is use some sort of an artificial tear or a lubricant.
Like some of these, okay.
There's some examples. You can buy them over the counter without a prescription. Probably 3 or 4 times a day in both eyes will help rinse them out, help lubricate them, and make them feel much more comfortable. The redness just kind of has to go away on its own.
Okay, and usually if it's more than lasting for more than a day or two, you want to see a doctor?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, because can it lead to more serious problems?
Absolutely. It can cause, I don't know if you've ever gotten out of a pool and noticed that things are very cloudy. Mm-hmm. That's because the front of the eye or the cornea actually gets swollen. And it will cause halos around lights and things like that. And so it takes a while for that to go away. If it's not going away, there could be some other problems associated with it.
Okay, interesting to know. Now, you have some sunglasses here. We all hear about protecting our eyes from the sun. What are some of the best ways? I mean, do we need to always have sunglasses when we're outside?
Absolutely. We should always be wearing a hat, sunglasses, especially with what we call an ultraviolet protection. A UV coating is actually a clear coating. It's not the color of the lens that matters. There's a clear coating over that helps protect our eyes, blocking the UV rays, which can burn the eyes.
When we're buying sunglasses, there's something on sunglasses that you can ask about, or that it should have a particular sticker, or so you know that?
They usually have some sort of a UV sticker on them, but you still can't trust that. It's always buyer beware, so it's important that you take them to a place with a UV meter, and they have a little meter that they can actually see how much ultraviolet rays comes through.
And then last quick question, we're talking about the sun, chlorine, but what about the heat itself when it's so hot? Can that be harmful to our eyes?
Same thing with the chlorine. It causes dryness. I mean, the heat dries our skin out. Just like we would put lotion on our skin, we need to keep them moisturized to keep the eyes working properly. You'll find it helps tremendously in making them much more comfortable.
Can that affect your long-term vision? Does it affect vision possibly?
You know, it can cause, if the dryness stays for a long time, it can cause scar tissue to develop and things. So you have to be very careful with the eyes. Eyes are important. So
that is very interesting. Dr. Roper, thank you so much. Again, he's with Southwestern Eye Center, and we appreciate all the tips you're giving us and the information about